Hello learners, we are studying the introduction to GST. In the present module, I would like to discuss the features and benefits of introducing goods and service tax in India, the monitoring system and the dual model concept. At first, I would like to start with the definition of goods and service tax. Now, what is GST? GST is the tax on goods and services which is levied at each point of supply of goods or provision of services in which the seller or service provider may claim the input tax credit which they have paid while purchasing goods or producing the services. Now, what this exactly means? It means that goods and service tax is levied at every time when the sales are made. For example, if the manufacturer is selling the goods to the wholesaler, then GST will be levied. When wholesaler will be selling the goods to the dealer, then again GST will be levied. And when the dealer would be selling it to the retailer, then also GST will be levied. Finally, when the retailer sells the goods to the final consumer, then again the GST will be levied. Hence, to summarize, GST is a comprehensive multi-stage destination-based tax which is levied on every value addition. Now, what this word destination-based tax means? Destination-based means the state government of that particular state will collect the tax where the goods have finally been consumed. Next, now let's discuss about the model of GST. India is following dual model of GST as we have two types of transaction. The dual model is being followed under the intrastate transactions. In interstate transactions, we are following one model of GST. Now, when sales are made within the same state, this is known as intrastate sales. In that scenario, central government and state government, they both will share the tax revenue. For example, the rate of GST is 18%, then 9% tax will be collected by central government and the remaining 9% will be collected by state government. Now, since India has 36 states, out of which 28 are states and 8 are union territories. The list of union territory is Andaman and Nicobar Island, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep, Pondicherry and Ladakh, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have recently been added in the 2019 and 2020 year. Now, in case of union territories, the tax will be shared by central government and the union territory, and for the remaining 28 states, the tax will be shared by central government and state government equally. In case of interstate sales, that is sales made outside the state, IGST is levied. IGST stands for Integrated Goods and Service Tax. So let's finally understand about SGST, CGST and IGST. SGST stands for State Goods and Service Tax and it is collected by state government. CGST stands for Central Goods and Service Tax and it is collected by central government. IGST stands for Integrated Goods and Service Tax and it is collected by central government on interstate supply of goods and services. Now, there are 3 exceptions in case of indirect taxes, that is in case of GST, while importing goods or while importing services. In both the scenarios, no GST is levied. So what we levy? In case of import of services, IGST is levied and not SGST and CGST will be collecting the tax. In case of import of goods, basic custom duty will be levied and then IGST will be levied. In case of export of goods and services, no taxes will be levied, no CGST, SGST or IGST, as they are treated as zero rated supplies. Now, there are some highlights of goods and service tax. They are: GST was first introduced in France in 1954 and within 62 years of its introduction, about 160 countries have adopted GST. India is one of them. Canada, Brazil and India, they have adopted dual model of GST. India adopted GST as it is a one country and one tax concept. Now, you are familiar with the term GST Council and GST Network. They are the monitoring bodies under GST. In the GST ecosystem, GST Council and GST Network plays a key role. Let me explain you the formation of GST Council. GST Council is a body which comprises of ministers. It is headed by Finance Minister, that is Union Finance Minister, and it is known as Chairman. The Vice Chairman is the Finance Minister from any one state government, and the rest other members, they are the Union Ministers of State of Finance, or they are the Finance Ministers of all state governments who are considered as ex officio members. Now, how the decisions are being taken in the GST Council? First of all, the quorum has to be met for conducting a meeting. At least 50% of total members should be present when the meeting is being called upon. And then decisions are taken by passing special resolution, that is 75% members should agree. The powers and functions of GST Council are: it recommends various issues of GST, for example, rate of tax, apportionment of IGST and so on. Hence, GST Council is a very powerful council in respect of goods and service tax. Now, next we come to GST Network. It is an internal IT infrastructure based system. It is established as a NPO, non-profit organization, that is not for profit motive. It is registered under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. It controls the inter-ecosystem of GST, that is all the filing, all the documents are uploaded through GST Network. GSTN portal provides various facilities such as registration, payment of tax, filing of returns, etc. It also helps the tax authorities to check the authenticity of tax compliances. So you are aware that nowadays, in case of indirect taxes, all the transactions are done on online basis. So it is a great portal, a great initiative by the GST department by setting up GSTN network. Now, a very common question arises in the mind of every assessee that am I liable for GST? So you need to know that if you fulfill any of the following condition, then you become liable to pay GST. First, you can be a registered person or the person whose aggregate turnover exceeds 20 lakh from intrastate or interstate, or as a casual taxable person who supplied handicraft goods. That is, we are taking the aggregate total of intra-state supply, interstate supply and casual supplies. If the total exceeds 20 lakh, then you become liable to pay GST, or either you are a registered person who has got herself or himself registered under the GST Act. Now, since GST has been introduced into the economy, we should understand about the benefits of GST. There are numerous benefits of GST. I have highlighted some from the following, like first, removal of cascading effect of taxes. Cascading means taxes on taxes, double taxation. Tax is levied at every and at each point, but only on the value addition portion. So it removes the cascading effect of taxation. Second, unified compliance procedure across the country. That is, the compliance rules, regulations, deadlines for filing return, etc. are same for the entire country. Third, faster movement of goods across the country. That is, goods could be moved from one country to another country very easily, as you do not have to pay different taxes as per the different state governments. Now the taxes are common for all, so you can take the benefit of input tax credit from one state to another also. Next, no manual challan, 100% digital compliances. I have already explained to you that GST is working on entire 100% online basis. No offline facilities are there. So it saves a lot of time and cost of the consumers. Next, single return for manufacturing, trading or services provision. Earlier you used to have filed 3 different returns for manufacturing, another for trading and the other one for services. Now you can combine all the 3 returns into a single return. Next, seamless input credit chain. That is, input of one sector could be consumed and utilized when you are selling your goods to any other state also. So it gives a ample amount of benefit to the assessee. Now, in India there are different GST rates. So I have provided you just a list of it. We'll be discussing about each and every segment in detail in the future modules. The different GST rates are 0%, 0.25%, 3%, 5%, 12%, 18 and 28%. Note, now this is the last slide, and this is very important for you to remember that in case of GST, Swachh Bharat cess and Krishi Kalyan cess are not applicable. These both cess are applicable in case of direct taxes and they are not applicable in case of indirect taxes. By this, we come to an end of our session. I hope you all are enjoying the online learning. Thank you.